Other than that, it goes like no contact, no how is our son, not nothing. It's like me raising our kid by myself, and to like work my ass off and like pay another $4,000 just
Yes, and you probably shouldn't have divorced the man and start crying about being a single mother. Or if you can't handle it, give the son to the fathers. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. One of the things that have been interesting to me lately, I've been following this channel called Chisha Z. He's doing a lot of work behind the scenes when it comes to prenups and getting guys ready to marry and whatnot. So he covers a lot of stuff in divorce, court, and whatnot. So, or at least what happens when men and women find themselves in this position. Now, in this particular case, this woman decided to get divorced. What happens is that she's now getting the full treatment of how men are actually treated when it comes to divorce. So I would like us to listen to this as I react and give you my commentary, and of course subscribe as we continue.
Here's the moment that she realizes that it was probably cheaper to stay married and not divorce her husband, and she's struggling to pay her divorce lawyer.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
No more wasting time. Let's get it.
I'm sad because my divorce lawyer requested another $4K, and like I think in the past year and a half I spent like $25,000. And it's not easy. Like my ex keeps like prolonging this divorce because he wants my dad to sell his house so he can get money from it. Like the whole custody plan and everything is like all set and done. And it just sucks because I'm like a single mom and I work my ass off.
All right. So before we get into the tears, I want to talk about what she said right there. She said, listen, the custody plan, right? When it comes to what we're going to do with the kids. By the way, for those of you that wonder, can a prenuptial agreement protect you from child support? You can't do anything with kids when it comes to prenups. But that's not what they're arguing about over here. She's arguing about assets with the man who she decided to divorce. And she says he wants my dad to sell his house because he needs that. He needs a piece of that. This is definitely a situation where a prenup would have made expectations of what's going to happen in case this marriage does not work out, and would have.
Now, I wanted to start this off by talking about how things seem to be changing more and more. Back in the day, you wouldn't really have, at least in the last 20 years or 30 years, wouldn't really have women complaining about paying for divorce because a lot of that cost was put directly on the man, even when she's divorcing you. So it's become more and more equalized, and I love it because eventually it's going to force changes in rules and women are going to advocate for it because more and more of them are making more and more money and more of them are starting to own property, and when they get married and they get divorced, they realize they have to share the property with the man even if the man is earning lower than them. And this has become really a very sore point for them. They don't like it, so now they're being given the full repercussions to actually feel how much men spend when they've invested in a marriage for years, and then a woman just decides to leave and take half of what he's made. At the same time, he has to pay for the cost of being divorced. This is one of the most diabolical things that I think as men we are allowed to happen. Let's continue.
Change the situation from this is hell and I've been going through it for a year plus to, wow, this was very difficult. Boy, am I glad we got that prenup. And of course, guys, this is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney. If you need legal information, head over to fathershaverights.com.
And I don't, like, it's not like that guy gives me child support. It's not like he even offers to buy a diaper box or a box of milk for my son, even though that's his son too. He only messages us on the days that he gets to have use, which is like once every Sunday, every other week.
first of all, we all need to stop believing. Of course, if you're on this channel, you probably don't believe a lot of these fake tears that he doesn't do anything, and you never really get to hear the other side until it's too late when the guy has been destroyed. But these days, more and more men are becoming less forgiving. Let me say, if you decide to divorce a man, it's like, okay, you can go, but you're not going to have the same comforts with me there. I'm not going to be paying bills. Probably be pushed to pay child support. Personally, I am over 50-50 split, mother and father. When the child is with the mother, she pays the bills there and handles all the expenses. When the child is with the father, the same thing. That's what I'm for. You don't get to live the same life that you are living with a man when you're paying most of the bills, carrying most of the heavy stuff, doing all the work to fix the house and cut the grass and mow the snow if you live in a snowy area, all that. Because what they're crying about is not that they're being made to pay all this money per se, is the fact that they are not only paying for their part, but they are losing the benefits of the man being around. So that's actually what the courts have been doing, trying to put women in the same position as they were when they were married to this man. So the man always has to substitute a woman even if he's not with her. So this very slowly will change. I promise you that.
Week. Other than that, it goes like no contact, no how is our son, no nothing. It's like me raising our kid by myself, and to like work my ass off and like pay another $4,000 just to.
Yes, and you probably shouldn't have divorced the man and start crying about being a single mother. Or if you can't handle it, give the son to the fathers. Of course, they won't do that because they are looking to leverage the child for child support and other payments. So I normally don't feel anything for these tears. These are crocodile, alligator tears, and they're used to manipulate. The fact that she's come out of here on her TikTok to put it out there, it should give us even more chances to pause.
To like have this divorce somewhat be finished is so hard. Not only is divorce emotionally draining, it's also financially draining.
Oh, really?
And I feel like I wish like the court system like had a thing for people who was like bullshitting around and would just go straight to the point, because my ex is like trying to do his best to prolong this and juice this.
Welcome to what it's like being a man in
Exactly.
the family court system, from someone who does believe that the laws need to be changed. And I believe the only way these laws will ever be changed is if we get more videos like this. Unfortunately, people only care and feel sad when a woman is going through this. If a man's over here crying and be like, oh, divorce, people are like, haha, and swipe up. But people look at this and they're kind of like, oh, this is kind of sad. Maybe we should change the laws. Maybe, right? The sponsor of this channel, fathershaverights.com. Imagine paying child support fully for 18 years. You paid it full, done. But the mother of your child.
I'm going to leave this ad to run because I think for some of you it might be helpful.
Still wants more. She tells the court it's unfair. I didn't create this child by myself. That's exactly what happened in this situation. And that's when the judge leaned in and said, ma'am, you can't do this. I can't make him pay child support past 18. Not when he's already done paying it and the child has graduated. So, of course, child support ended that day. But child support isn't always fair, and it doesn't always end clean. But knowing how the system works helps you prepare for battle. That's why fathershaverights.com is creating the Custody Prep Guide for Men, presented to you by expert attorneys to help fathers know what to do, what not to do, and how to protect themselves at every step of the custody process. Click the link pinned to the top of the comments. Join the waiting list for the Custody Prep Guide for Men.
Even though he gets like literally nothing out of it. Divorce sucks. This is the reality. And now I have to suck it up and go downstairs with a smile and act like I'm not sad.
Yeah, the divorce sucks because she's paying a lot of money now, just like men have been paying for decades. This is the only way it changes. When the other party feels the same repercussions and they don't have preferential treatment, it's going to be a slow process. But we will get there. Now, this particular fathersofrights.com, I'm going to leave the links down below just so that in case you need it, there's really good material there. You trust me, if you want to get married or you're already married and you need advice on things like that, I think you can get really good advice. This guy has put together a really good team and, a lot of things that can be helpful to you.
Wish me luck.
All right. Check out the rest of these comments. Top commenter says it's worth every dime. This female commenter here says, and somebody else responded back and says, I know, I just have to be patient. Somebody else here says, no, you have to be logical.
The question that I'm always getting asked as a Texas family law attorney is how much is my divorce going to cost me? Now, a lot of family law attorneys, including myself, charge per hour. So how much a divorce is going to cost you is going to be contingent on the fact of how many hours I have to put into your case. For example, I just got out of court to finalize what we call an uncontested divorce, meaning that nothing was fought out in this divorce. The decree to their divorce was signed by both the parties and they were in agreement of everything. They had already resolved how the property was going to be divided. Other couples, if they have kids, they'll figure out what the custody schedule is going to look like, child support agreements, etc., etc. So in that case, because they don't need attorneys negotiating what they want for them and they're able to resolve the issues on their own, the divorce was so affordable. And that's going to be the difference maker between a $3,000 divorce and a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $50,000 divorce.
So how much did my divorce cost me? Well, this is a fantastic question. There's direct and there's indirect costs. Direct costs, I lost $106,000 out of my 401k retirement plan I spent 20 years contributing to. I also lost half the equity in the home, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cash, and savings that I also spent 20 years contributing to. I also lost half of all the non-liquid assets like furniture, household goods, electronics, cars. Keep in mind, I paid for all of these. And this is in addition to financially supporting her and her/our daughter for 17 years, which is many hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm now broke, live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and have a negative net worth for the first time since I was, 25. Indirect costs: my job, my sobriety, my self-worth, my masculinity, my hope for the future, my ability to trust women again, my belief in God, my pride, my motivation, my physical health. Let's just say everything.
Here's another person who says he doesn't have claim on your dad's house. Just show proof you paid the rent. He's trying to break you completely. Here's somebody else who says, wait, he wants half of your dad's house. And the creator, this is the actual chick giving us a little bit more information. She says, yes, girl, during COVID, we couldn't afford rent. So my dad bought a small house and let us live there. The mortgage was $1,800. And I would pay like $1,000 and my dad would buy groceries for us. And I was the only one working and pay for my ex's stuff. So I guess she meant there I was paying for my ex's stuff and I was the only one with the job. I couldn't do it all by myself and he never wanted me to go out and work. So I was so limited when I had.
Now, I'm going to, because that's the explanation. I don't believe what I was saying. He didn't want me to work. They're always the victims. Totally the victims all the time. Now, the problem that most of us have these days is that we do have to procreate. We do have to get families because most of us want families. Most of us are not like me. Now, one of the safest ways to do this is prenuptial agreements, and this is actually now a worldwide phenomenon. It's not just a few Western countries where this has become the norm. Everywhere now, everybody wants a prenuptial agreement because there are real assets to fight over at the end of it. And it's largely because these marriages just don't last. They just don't last. And unfortunately, this is the unfortunate thing. We have to procreate, but the marriages or the institutions that make sure that we raise the kids right just don't work anymore because a lot of the culture across the world has changed. The feminism has gone everywhere, even to the third world. Weak men everywhere, left, right, and center. Single mother homes that has contributed to that. There's just too much at this particular moment to be solved. But one problem after another. Solve the divorce courts. Do have your prenuptial agreement. Do not be blinded by your love, lust, or infatuation. You will lose. Do your prenuptial agreement. Make sure that it's done the correct way. Make sure that it's fair, basically. That's what I'm saying. So that is really the main crux of this video. I don't know what you guys think about this. Please, you'll forgive me. There's a lot of construction going on around me, so you might hear some background noise. So yeah, so I hope you can forgive me. I hope it's not too destructive. But I don't know what you thought about this particular topic, and I'm going to leave the video to and the channel links to Chisha Z and fathersofrights.com just in case you need to use those services. I've not been paid, neither have I been asked to promote this. I'm just giving extra information that I think is useful. And please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, peace.